What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And I've got to say, it feels great not to be sick anymore. But tonight I've got a lot of great things to talk about in the gaming world. We're going to be going from the roller coaster that is Final Fantasy XIV's latest expansion. We've got some exciting news on a classic RPG that just came out not too long ago. I'm also going to be talking about the price shift for the PlayStation 5 in some areas, and we've got some interesting developments over at Square Enix. First up, let's talk about Final Fantasy XIV's Dawn Trail expansion. As a longtime 14 player myself, it has been a pretty good up and down for the game. But as many of you know, Dawn Trail was highly anticipated, leading to a record number of concurrent users upon its release. However, the initial reception from longtime fans on Steam was, to put it mildly, disappointing. For about 8 long months, the expansion languished with mostly negative reviews. Players expressed their dissatisfaction, drawing comparisons to the Stormblood expansion and pointing to weak characters, story, bland job designs, and an overall lack of content. Now, the first I'd heard of the bland job design was my buddy Lucas. He picked up Viper when the expansion dropped, and he said it was just underwhelming, the whole thing. So, anyways, but it seems the tides are turning. The recent release of patch 7.2, officially titled Seekers of Eternity, appears to be making a significant difference. In fact, after those 8 months in the mostly negative trenches, Dawn Trail's Steam reviews have finally climbed back up to mixed. This is a pretty significant shift, and it sounds like the positive feedback is largely focused on this latest update. One fan on Reddit commented that 7.2 is a massive improvement in all regards, and another expressed genuine interest in what's happening in the main story quest for the first time since the expansion's launch. It's great to see that the developers at Square Enix are listening to feedback and actively working to improve the player experience. And that has been one thing with Yoshi P. Not only is he in charge of this game, but he is also an active player that a lot of people have seen walking around in the game. So he is in the mix. He is listening to people. But back on track, sorry. Post-launch patches can often be crucial in shaping the long-term perception of an MMO expansion, and it looks like 7.2 might be doing just that for Dawn Trail. However, it's important to note that not everyone is completely convinced just yet. One skeptical commenter pointed out that the base game and 7.1 had very poor writing. So, 7.2 being better doesn't mean much for me at this point. This is an understandable position. Past disappointments can definitely make players hesitant to fully embrace the new content. The article from Games Radar also mentions other disappointing moments in Final Fantasy XIV's history, such as recent Hatching Tide event rewards that some have felt were underwhelming. Now, if you don't know the Hatching Tide Final Fantasy as a live service game that runs all year, every holiday has an event quest. And like I said, I've been playing it for years. I've done so many of them, I just don't even care to do the holiday events anymore. But Square Enix will continue to build on the positive momentum of patch 7.2 and deliver even more solid content in future Dawn Trail updates. We're hoping. Next up, we have some good news for collectors and fans of classic JRPGs. Gung Ho Online Entertainment America has confirmed that they are working on a physical restock of the Lunar Remastered Collection. Now, this collection, which includes the beloved titles Lunar Silver Star Story Complete and Lunar 2 Eternal Blue Complete, has apparently been selling out quite quickly since its launch. This news should be a welcome relief for those who prefer physical copies of their games. Now, as as something that I have said a lot, and I even went on and looked into this. Scalpers are part of the problem. The day after the game was launched, and I saw on social media that people were talking about not being able to get their hands on it. Of course, I hit eBay and I found hundreds of not just listing but also confirmed sales of two to 2.5 times the sticker price on the shelf at stores. So they're everywhere. But for those who might be new to the Lunar series, such as I will be, these games are known for their strategic turn-based combat, where factors like character speed, positioning, and attack range are important considerations. The Remastered Collection offers several updates for both returning fans and newcomers. Players can choose between classic and remastered modes, with the latter offering widescreen support and high-definition animated cutscenes. The games also feature voiceovers in both Japanese and a newly recorded English option, enhancing the battles with fully voiced attacks and incantations. Other improvements include faster battle settings, additional strategy options, and French and German subtitle support. It sounds like Gung Ho has put a lot of effort into revitalizing these classics while staying true to their original form, which I can say is very important when you're bringing back these old games. The physical editions themselves are also quite appealing to collectors, featuring reversible covers showcasing 2 key illustrations for each game, exclusively drawn by, I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, Toshiyuki Kuboka. Sorry if I got that wrong. The Lunar Remastered Collection is available on a wide range of platforms, including the PS4, the Xbox One, Switch, and Steam. Gung Ho's CEO, once again, I'm sorry if I get this wrong, Jun Iwasaki, even issued a statement apologizing for the limited initial availability and assuring fans that restocks are on the way, thanking them for their patience. It's always great to see companies listening to their fans and addressing demand, especially for physical releases in this increasingly digital age. If you're a fan of classic RPGs, like I am, or missed out on the initial physical release, please keep an eye out for those restocks. And I've always wanted to try these games, so I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes open for all this. Now, let's shift gears and head on over to Sony, where California, which I'm not even going to go there, where there's even some news regarding the price of the PS5 in certain regions. SIE has announced that they will be raising the recommended retail price of the PlayStation 5 digital editions in select markets across Europe, the Middle East, Africa, Australia, and New Zealand. Effectively, now this was put into effect April 14th. Okay, finally, we're going to shift back over to Square Enix, and it appears the company has decided to temporarily pause some new merchandise pre-orders in North America. The reason cited for this decision is ongoing international tariff uncertainties stemming from the Trump administration trade policies. According to the article on GameRant, this decision potentially affects all Square Enix fans in North America, and not just in the US, as the North American pre-order page content is the same for both the US and Canada. While tariffs were implemented earlier in April, a 90-day pause on all reciprocal tariffs, except for those imposed on China, was announced a week later. Interestingly, Square Enix's decision to halt the pre-orders went into effect on April 9th, the same day as this tariff pause. The current pause only affects merchandise such as figures and other collectibles, and not the video games. As of April 16th, 181 merchandise products were still available for pre-order. And I find it funny because the Square Enix store, the figures and the collectibles are the most expensive things on there. And even years ago, they had the highest shipping price tags attached to them. But Square Enix themselves released a statement on their store noting, in light of ongoing uncertainties, we have decided to, we already said all this, they put it all on, it's just a repeat of the same thing from before. The article suggests that this pause might last until at least mid-July of this year, 2025, when the future of certain tariffs on Japanese imports could become more clear as the 3-month tariff pause comes to an end. It's worth noting that the Switch 2 US pre-orders have also been delayed due to similar economic uncertainties. While Square Enix's share price hasn't seen major changes recently, the potential reintroduction of steep reciprocal tariffs in July could lead to increased costs for consumers or even the discontinuation of some products in North America. It's a complex situation highlighting the real-world impact of international trade policies on the gaming industry. So that wraps up everything I wanted to talk about tonight. It's been a bit of a mixed bag. We've got some positive light on Final Fantasy XIV. We got some good news for Lunar fans and, potential fans like me that have always wanted to try it. We've seen price adjustments on the PlayStation 5 in the EU and other places. And now we've got Square Enix pausing a lot of their stuff. So please let me know what you guys think down below. Please, if you did, like, subscribe, and share. And even if you didn't, you can go ahead and hit that thumbs down. But I'll catch you guys on the next one.